and welcome back to Covering Coven, a show during which we discussed last night's episode of American Horror Story Coven. I'm your moderator, Perri Nemiroff, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be back with our panelists. Can you say hello, ladies?
Hi, I'm Alexis Saarela.
Hey, I'm Allison Ullrich.
Hi, I'm Megg Hochbaum.
Hello, I'm Sasha Capelli.
So, in The Magical Delights of Stevie Nicks, Fiona attempts to win over the Coven's potential new Supreme, Misty, by giving her her idol, Stevie Nicks. When Stevie isn't singing and or twirling, we're with Marie Laveau as she settles into the Academy with a new appreciation for her former sworn enemies, and that allows them all to work together so they could save the Coven from the witch hunters, kind of. Let's kick this discussion off with poor Nan. Alexis, how are you feeling about what happens to her in this episode?
Well, I thought it kind of all came really fast. Like, we, all of a sudden, we lost the neighbor boy, we lost Patti LuPone, and we lost Nan all in, like, the blink of an eye. And I think, I wish they had kept, drawn that out a little bit more. I feel like there was so much more to explore there. Of course, on this show, everyone could come back. So, I don't know, is she off with Papa Legba? How do you say it? Forever? I don't know. I also thought, I just love that scene where he was like, she's not so innocent, and they were like, pretty close.
And then she says, like, do I have to be in that outfit forever, or something along those lines. It is kind of crazy that after Queenie got such a send-off, that Nan is almost gone in an instant. Yeah. It doesn't feel like she deserved that kind of exit. She needed more.
Yeah, I liked her little explosion of power. I thought that was pretty badass of her. I was like, get it, girl! And I was hoping it would last a little bit longer, like Alexis said, but they were just kind of like, nope, done. Like, it was a really strange way. Like, I didn't even know that they were gonna. For a second, it took me like a minute to be like, what are they doing? Like, Marie and Fiona, and then I was like, they're killing Nan? Like, really? So it was a strange decision.
It wasn't really earned. It kind of just came out of nowhere. It's like out of nowhere they decided, let's just kill everyone else, and for some reason they started with her because I guess because she could. They don't even find out that she can control them.
No, but they know she can read minds, so she knows what's going on.
Well, she did
been able to do that all along.
And said, I'll eat shit or something like that, and I'll make you,
And she did that stuff to Madison, too. She's like, put out your cigarette, what? So, I mean, she can. True. She shows.
So now, because we've all been waiting for it, we've got to talk about Stevie Nicks. Sasha, are you satisfied with that cameo?
Oh, I was excited. Like, it was very sweet to see her and just playing the piano was beautiful and gorgeous. Stevie Nicks in all her glory. But I thought she was going to do some witchy stuff. I was so excited that she was going to come on and just be, like, badass like the rest of them. And all she did was play a couple songs, and, like, she didn't even get to really twirl too much. And I don't know. It was super anticlimactic. It was just, like, Stevie Nicks for, like, Stevie Nicks' sake. So... it wasn't as good as it could have been. I was hoping some more witchy stuff.
And at the end, has she just been hanging out all day?
Just sitting there playing the piano, drinking.
Yeah.
Listening to Nan being murdered.
Yeah.
The problem with something like that is it doesn't move the story forward at all. No. Like, the whole point in having Stevie there was to appeal to Misty, but... Right. What does that do for Misty? Really?
I don't know. It was just for the stunt casting. I mean,
yeah, which could have been cool because, like, usually when American Horror Story does like some stunty stuff, like they'll have them do something really out of character or cool. And I was bummed. I thought she was gonna go on some adventures with Misty or something, but it was just like 2 songs. Fiona's crying. We're done.
It was even strange that. With her idol there, that Misty would even leave the house at all to, like, go hang out with Madison. Is that what funerals are really like there?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's kind of incredible.
That's awesome.
And then it was almost disrespectful how they're, like, chasing on the end of it, eating meat on a stick. I'm like, somebody's going to be upset about this, because that really is a funeral procession down there, so that was kind of weird.
That was very odd.
So now we've got to move on because we've got to talk about the situation between Fiona Marie and their new friend, and I'm going to butcher this name too, Papa Legba. Papa Legba. So we know Fiona and Marie are going after the witch hunters together, but they wouldn't introduce that new character if he wasn't going to serve a major purpose in the episodes to come at this point. So, Meg, where do you think they're going to take that?
Can we just call him Roy, just so I can butcher some other names? I mean, I honestly don't know that I buy it for a second. I'm always skeptical when it comes to, like, the alliance between the witches and the voodoo. And like somebody said, you can see it in Marie's eyes. Like, she's looking at Fiona at the end of the night, and they're going to bed, and it's like, yeah, no, you just rest right now. You go ahead, and you can trust me. It's total bull. Like, yeah, they'll probably end up doing a little bit together and maybe band together and try to fight the witches within the house, but the whole storyline just seems so skewed that, like, I kind of want to see if they do some kind of epic battle, the two of them against the voodoo daddy, or maybe he gets Marie back and then Queenie comes back and there's some kind of voodoo versus witches thing still, regardless of the witch hunters. So I don't know. I don't like where it went this week at all.
Or they're going to raise that cute little baby as an alternative, you know, to mommy family.
There you go.
Well, see, my thinking is Marie Laveau is 300 years old. She doesn't need to be a Supreme. She doesn't need a Supreme, does she? Right now she's in the house and she's the most powerful one, I would assume. So why can't she just bring Queenie back and just raise this baby and have her get rid of all the witches and the voodoos win?
Yeah, that's
what I think is
And like, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like Marie was super stunted this episode. Like, she just kind of like, she's clearly a badass, and she showed that when she made the two police officers shoot themselves in the head. Like, that was probably the best moment of the episode. But she was like, super maternal. She was like mommy dearest this episode. She was like caring for Fiona's daughter. Like, when Fiona went crazy about the whole husband witch hunter thing, she was like very sweet about it. So I don't know, it was very out of character for her this episode.
Which I thought was a little extreme. I mean, she didn't suspect Hank/Roy either as a witch hunter. I mean,
I'm wondering if the baby in the center of this all has something to do with anything, because at one point in the beginning they focused on the name tag. I don't know if anyone.
Yeah,
I wrote the name down. It was Joseph Metz. Joseph Metzger was written on it, and clearly that means nothing to us. And also it said the Williams baby somewhere. It's like, why would you show that if it has nothing to do with anything?
Yeah,
That's weird.
And another confusing element was the rats in the maze. How exactly did that work? Because initially I thought that they were popping the rats in there, and then the rats were going to equal the people, the demon hunters in Delphi Trust, and you know they were going to go after the cheese, aka the money, and then get killed. But then they were kind of implying that the rats were the agents.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's magic.
I don't know, but
Yeah, it was basically like the American Horror Stories. Like, sometimes they just cop out and they're like magic. So that's kind of what it seemed like.
What do you like when Marie all of a sudden what did she sticks her tongue out and does that crazy face?
Oh yeah,
That was awesome.
it was.
yeah. I don't know, but my two cats were glued to the screen watching those rats.
Nice.
So the dialogue in The Magical Delights of Stevie Nicks absolutely calls for the return of our memorable quote section. I wrote down a ton of them, but obviously I got to choose just one, so I'm going with, and this is kind of like a tongue twister, so I hope I don't butcher it. Did I get the shawl twirl right? I want to get it right. Because here's Misty under the impression that she's going to have to take on the responsibility of being the next Supreme, and all she cares about is nailing the shawl twirl, and it's kind of adorable. And I also really appreciated that nod to the twirl at the end of the episode, too, because, I mean, Madison's got bite, we see that still, but since coming back from the dead, she seems to have softened a bit. But then that twirl at the end kind of really seals the deal again and brings us back to the days of pure evil bus-flipping Madison, and I kind of miss that. Allison, you've got one for us too, right?
Yeah, my favorite part, I mean, it's a line from Dreams by Fleetwood Mac, but I loved how Madison used it kind of against Misty. She said, players only love you when they're playing. I mean, it's true, but, you know, Madison's playing Misty right now, and I think that leads into what we're going to see with Misty coming. Like, I'm very excited to see that too.
I'm really curious to see how she gets out of that situation. I mean, she can't die.
No, she's able to pop herself into that car at the very beginning of the season, so I'm sure she can pop herself out of the coffin.
Yeah, she survived burning at the stake, so
I'm sure she
a
can
coffin of small potatoes.
So now we've hit the rapid fire time, the time when we discuss the things that we'll be anticipating in the episode to come. The issue of the Supreme has been at the core of the show since week 1, and in episode 10, we got some major answers that kind of seriously narrowed down the possibilities here. So even though Nan confirmed Madison's heart murmur is gone, someone else also mentions at a point that once you're dead, you're out of the running, and that would mean Queenie, Nan, Madison, and Misty all aren't options anymore, and that leaves just Delia and Zoe, and then between the two, my money's on Delia just because she's the less likely option, and I'd kind of be disappointed if Zoe was the Supreme at this point.
Yeah, I know.
And I also get the feeling that maybe they're just breaking Delia down so that they could build her up in the final episodes.
Yeah,
Could be an interesting tactic. Alexis, what do you got for us this week?
Well, I mean, I'm obviously looking forward to that. I'm curious to see the return of Kyle. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Kyle, yeah.
Roy.
Frank and Kyle.
Frank and Kyle.
Because it was interesting he was just missing, and I don't think Queenie is out for the count. I think we might be seeing more of her.
All right, Meg, what you got?
I want to see more of this Voodoo Daddy guy because the episode last night to me was such a letdown, and that was really the only bright spot besides Myrtle playing that instrument thing. So I want to see more with him, and I want to see if there's some like awesome battle with him. And then, do we know where Headless Delphine is? Because I want her back.
Right.
Yeah, where did she end up last?
Headless.
She was in Queenie's apartment watching.
Oh, she's still on the table.
She's still learning.
Sasha, what are you looking forward to?
I'm definitely looking forward to more Voodoo Daddy stuff. I had like a flash, I don't know what it was, but I was like convinced last night that it was Delia that she was the Supreme. I think it was when she was in her like little botany thing and with that instrument and stuff. Like that whole moment, I was like, this poor girl. Like nothing can go worse for her. So I do think that they're kind of like building her down to build her up. I'm hoping so. But if it's Zoe, I won't freak out. But I will be bummed. I will be a little bit like, oh, all this time. We went through all this for it just to be Zoe.
Yeah.
Allison, you want to bring us home?
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to seeing how Nan's going to come back because I don't believe she's gone. And I want to see if maybe everybody that died and has been brought back, if they kind of combine, like with Madison and maybe Queenie, if Queenie's actually dead. I guess maybe we didn't see that in the last episode. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that's going to come. And will the people that are brought from the dead start their own alliance?
I wonder what Papa Legba's realm is. I mean, is that just regular death, or is that another plane?
Right.
Because
I don't know. Got a lot of
Nan's
treats
just
for
hanging
girls
there.
like Nan, though. So
Yeah.
So that's all we've got for you this week. Please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Shock Till You Drop, and join us again for our discussion of episode 11 next Thursday. Also, see that comment section below? Feel free to use and abuse it because we'd love to hear what you think about this episode and maybe even discuss your topics on our next show. Thanks for covering Coven with us. We'll see you next time.
bye.
Bye.